Welcome back. On any given day, we might go through a plethora of emotions. At times, emotions can get the better of us and become particularly hard to deal with. This week, we'll learn to listen to these painful emotions instead of ignoring, avoiding, or fighting difficult emotions like sadness or anger. We'll learn how to work with them in a more effective and helpful way. So let's see, have you ever gotten into a situation like Anna? Anna is mad at her partner because he often leaves the kitchen messy after she's cleaned it. When she feels this anger, her mind starts to comment on her anger, saying, "It's not a big deal. Why are you so angry about that? You shouldn't feel so irritated." This thought that she shouldn't be angry makes her feel guilty, which Anna experiences in her body as a sensation of having a lump in her throat. The anger combined with the guilt leads to her thinking that she's a bad person for the way she feels. These thoughts, feelings, and physical reactions snowball into her judging her experience further, saying things like, "Why can't I just be a relaxed, nice person?" Do you see how Anna no longer just feels the initial anger she felt, but in addition now also feels guilt, shame, and perhaps even self-loathing and physical sensations like a lump in her throat? Eventually, she's so confused by all of this that she might even have a hard time identifying why she feels so bad. She ends up losing control, yelling at her partner incoherently. Do you relate to such an experience? Do you see how easily we start suppressing or criticizing our emotions, and how this can lead to a whole host of other feelings or emotions or trigger us to have destructive reactions? This week we'll explore how we can face and work with our emotions, especially the ones that are more difficult or painful, in a more constructive and helpful way. When we encounter difficult emotions like sadness, feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, despair, or intense anxiety, the human instinct is to avoid these feelings. Rest assured, this is very natural and understandable, and we all do it. We do this by trying to escape, to suppress the feelings, fight with them, and sometimes even numb ourselves to not feeling them so strongly. Coping in this manner is tricky since we don't get to the root of the issue. Worse still, when we try pushing these feelings away, they often pop back up with a vengeance, worsening feelings of low mood, depression, or anxiety. There's a paradox here. Have you ever tried pushing a beach ball down underwater? What happens when you try to sink the ball? It launches right back up with even greater force. The same can be said about our feelings. The more we try to avoid them, push them away, or escape them, the more powerful they become. As we saw in the case of Anna, the mind can also easily get caught in rumination, where it gets stuck in trying to solve the emotions by thinking harder or criticizing what we're feeling, like, "I shouldn't feel sad," or "What's wrong with me for feeling this way?" We end up feeling sad about feeling sad, anxious about feeling anxious, or angry for feeling angry. But there's hope. We can learn to have more helpful responses to our emotions. Let's first start by taking a closer look at what emotions are and why they're important. An emotion is a psychological and physical reaction to a situation we're experiencing. Emotions give us important information. Sociologists have helped us identify the three main purposes for emotions and what they help us to understand. First, there are times when emotions motivate us to take action. Think about a time when you felt anxious about an upcoming deadline or an important event like hosting a party or going on a date. That anticipatory anxiety you felt may have motivated you to plan or prepare well. Second, emotions provide valuable information about what's going on around us and how that affects us. At times, they give us information about things that are most meaningful or important to us, like in the case of happiness, which is a reaction to a fulfilling and meaningful experience. Other times, emotions give us information on how to stay safe in the face of perceived danger. Have you ever been walking alone at night and felt fear? That fear could be telling you, don't go down that dark street alone, for example, giving you valuable information that you might consider taking an alternative, well-lit path instead. Finally, emotions help us communicate. They act as a compass by giving us important information about how we feel and what we need to communicate with others. Think about a time when you felt angry when somebody treated you poorly. Anger is a response to injustice, to something being wrong, or that our boundaries have been crossed. That anger may have helped you speak up for yourself or set a boundary, letting the other person know how to treat you. Sadness, on the other hand, can be understood as a reaction to loss. It's a signal to communicate to others that the person feeling sadness needs support, space, or the time to grieve. Sadness enables the process of letting go of people, things, and places. This is an important process, enabling us to create space for redirecting ourselves and continuing forwards. So as you can see, all of our emotions are important as they provide valuable information about our needs and what actions we should take. The better we're able to recognize our emotions, the more clearly we can assess how we're doing, what we need, and what good choices we can make for ourselves. This week, as you practice, I invite you to bring to mind the metaphor of a wave to help you investigate your emotions. Consider your emotions physiologically like waves that arise and wash over you. They come and go with more or less power until eventually the wave disappears all by itself. As a renowned mindfulness teacher, Jon Kabat-Zinn famously says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." In surfing the waves of emotions, the first step is to directly experience and stay with the emotions and watch them change. Can you name and notice the emotions you feel and learn how they manifest themselves in the felt sense of your body? The second step is to investigate what the emotion is telling you. Is it motivating you to take action, helping you communicate something about yourself or your needs? To set a limit or a boundary? Is it giving you any other important information? When experiencing painful emotions, remember to face them within your window of tolerance. If turning towards your emotions feels overwhelmingly intense or unbearable, give yourself permission to stop the practice or do something else to take care of yourself. Maybe you need a distraction or support from others. In moments of deep despair, It's good to do activities that rely on people or go to places that allow you to feel safe and comfortable. Another suggestion of how to cope in moments when the emotions get too intense is to focus your attention on the 5 senses. Remember that little trick? Try naming 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel or touch, 2 things you can taste, and 1 thing you can smell. Speaking aloud what you're experiencing outside yourself reinforces the distance to your inner emotional experience. For example, I see the wall in front of me, the wallpaper is green. I see a bird on the tree outside the window. I'm holding a teacup in my hand, etc. Remember, your therapist is there to help and support you during this program. Please get in touch with them if you experience the exercises as being too difficult or if you need advice. I wish you all the best for this week and especially invite a gentle and kind attitude towards yourself.